Welcome to Local Hogwash.
I'm Kristy Bach.
I'm Michelle Cash.
And we are here to bring you the joys and delights of Lenoir County.
Live.
We're not live.
Damn it.
I went to the fair in the rain.
I went to the fair too.
With my grandbaby. We got there, it was pouring down rain.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd already pulled in the parking lot when the rain started, so I couldn't exactly pull away because she's 4 and not blind. So she was like, "Oh, Grandma, look at the lights." And I'm like, "But the rain, baby."
Oh.
And so I took her and I said, "Well, if nothing else, we'll go in and we'll get a funnel cake and let her play some games."
Love funnel cakes.
Me too. And then it was all negated because then she spent some time with her cousin, my other granddaughter, who is 11 months. No, I'm sorry. She's a year old now. I was just at her birthday party.
We just went to her party.
And then everything Grandma did was wiped out because the baby was so much cooler.
Forgot her present. Sorry.
Speaking of presents, I guess that stuff didn't come in.
No.
Boo.
I know. Our delivery man, I got to get on Charlie. Sometimes he comes after 5. But
so
if I just have to go to the post office tomorrow and root through the packages, I will.
So we put our sponsored money for the DC trip to good use, and we're super excited because we got a Bluetooth lapel mic set and a camcorder to follow us around. So
that is not from the year 2009.
It's not from the year 2009.
Because Kristy's got to be fancy. So, how many days until election?
Until election, 2 weeks and 4 days.
So that's 18 days. Till election time.
I'm not 100% sure if that's correct, though.
Oh, I'm so ready. So ready.
But part of the topic that I did want to talk about is the election, because now that I've listened to 8 different candidates for the 2 positions, it's like you can tell the difference that experience makes. When I was listening to Pastor Jason McKnight's videos of the 4 people running for mayor, my first initial reaction was, it kind of goes, Felicia Solomon did a great job, as I anticipated she would. It took Mayor Hardy a minute to get his groove on, but when he did a great job as well. Zach Holcomb also did a good job.
I was pleasantly surprised by Zach.
I think, though, that his expectation and the reality of the role are going to differ, and I think should he be the next mayor, that's going to be something he's going to have to resonate with, that his expectations were here, but the reality is here, and he's going to have to figure out a way to bring that together. You can go to Facebook for News or
newsnews.com.
Or newsnews.com. All of the videos from the Jason McKnight series are in there. Check them out. Make decisions for yourself. Please don't get voting advice from me or Michelle.
No.
So 10 days to Washington, D.C. The countdown's on. I am excited. I'm excited about lots of things. I'm excited about going to see the Smithsonian's. That has always been what I really wanted to do.
I'm excited about the food.
I was going to say, I'm more, as it gets closer, I'm more excited to explore new places with you, and having our camera so we can talk to it.
I can show you all the things that I eat.
She's really excited.
Thank God the wedding is not until next November.
So I think it's going to be a lot of fun. The hotel is already ready. I confirmed the reservation.
Fair warning. I'm a terrible driver.
You don't think I've driven you with you in the car before?
Not that far.
So
there's a big difference between getting around Kinston and going to Washington, D.C.
Fair warning to you. If I get scared, I'm driving.
Okay.
But my best friend since 6th grade is an interesting driver. And you would practically have to flip the car to scare me.
Okay.
But that was not challenge accepted.
No, it was not. No, it was not.
Speaking of childhood friends, that same friend, her name's Brenda. I love her 2 bits. But I was talking to her daughter today, and it's wild. I met Haley when she was, I don't know, 7, 8.
Mm-hmm.
I feel like that was around that age. And now she's married with her own house, and I'm going to her for plant advice. Like, it's so wild how small life is.
Yeah.
And how fast people grow up.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I've got to go home and help a 9 and a 12-year-old with science fair projects.
I used to love science fair projects.
Well, you feel free to come over.
What are they doing?
I don't know if I know.
Do they know?
Nope. We have to we're in the deciding phase.
I have lots of ideas.
We are in the research and development phase.
The R&D phase is a good phase.
You got something new for your desk this week.
I did. I got a nameplate.
What does it say?
It says, my name, assistant publisher of New Snooze, NC Political News, Duflin Review. Duflin Review.
How many things can you put on a nameplate?
Apparently a lot.
Did it have local Hogwash on it?
No. But I did put I put Lenwood in front of the picture that I posted online, and he got more comments than.
I'll fix that. Fix that for you. Now that I'm off social, I really don't have an idea of what's going on. And you know what? I don't hate it. I kept TikTok because
Because you need TikTok. I understand.
I cannot stop TikToking. That's where I get my jokes from. Joke time.
Okay, go ahead.
Do you know how to fix a broken pumpkin?
How do you fix a broken pumpkin?
Pumpkin patch.
So what is something that you've done since the start of this show that you're really proud of?
I don't know. At one point in my life, I had all my laundry caught up.
That is something.
That is something to be very proud of.
It is just me and Dean. 2 people. And Dean does his own laundry. So technically,
It's one people.
1 people. And you know what? It's like, if the basket's not completely overflowing full, then my brain says, you got more room. When it is full to the top, my brain says, we can fit a little bit more on top of there. And then when it's like falling over into the ground, then it's just like, just scoop it. So, it's like, at some point, it has to litter the bathroom floor for me to care. So, I have head wraps for my hair.
I have probably 27, but I couldn't tell you where any of them are.
I was just going to say that, and they get worn pretty quickly. So, I still often use a towel. Actually, I'm terrible. I use a towel for my hair, a towel for my body, and then, especially when I'm about to, like, you get a shower, you put on lotion. So then I put a towel down on the chair.
Oh, I don't like to touch my feet touch the tile floor, so I put a towel on the floor.
So how many towels do you use in a day? Inquiring minds want to know. I'm probably at a solid 3.
Maybe 6. 6 a day at my house.
Well,
Fun fact, where do you get your towels from?
Dollar General.
Hotels I stay at.
They charge you for them now.
No, they don't. Nope. No. When we go to DC, I'm coming back. That's my souvenirs, towels and washcloths from the Marriott.
So I'm excited. I love souvenirs. I want to get a travel mug from DC. Don't really care what it says as long as it's something DC related. I like keychains, but mostly I'm interested in the museums and the food. Like,
I need a t-shirt.
Yes, a t-shirt would be fun. I really wanted to get t-shirts made. I completely got sidetracked and forgot about it. I was going to do Hogwash t-shirts for me and Michelle, but sadly did not happen.
Maybe I don't have my life together. So. Working on that.
Right, me too. I think that one of the things I'm most excited to go see, all the Smithsonians, they're lumped together because I want to see them all. Even if we can't see them all, I still want to. But I just want to reiterate, I do want to go see the
Holocaust Museum.
Well, I know we're going to go see that. I was going to say the COVID memorial where with all the flags. I just think that would be so profound to see.
Maybe we'll get to see Joe Biden.
I feel the same way about that as your dad does.
We can say, let's go, Brandon. I'm not even talking about Brandon Potter.
So I didn't know what that meant until about 4 hours ago. Because I neither watch racing. Still don't necessarily know, but I understand what it means now, and it's hilarious.
It is.
I'm not a fan of the things being decided for our country. I think I lost a lot of respect for Joe Biden because of the 13 deaths from the Afghanistan withdrawal. I'm not a politician. I'm not a statesman. I have no idea what his options were, but you can't tell me he didn't have more than a week to get all those people out of there. We had 20 years.
Agreed.
So I feel a little... I feel like all of the people who went over there and died for a cause, for something that somebody believed in, he was just like, never mind, this was a bad idea.
Pretty much. Let's go, Brandon.
But I think that way about all of the politicians right now. I don't care what side of the aisle. Mark Robinson. So.
Hey. Wow.
So I understand what he was saying, and I agree. I absolutely agree. I don't agree with what he said. Let me be very clear here. I agree that the type of content he was referring to, meaning sexually explicit books and literature that depict anybody in a sexual capacity, should not be shown in school. Should not be utilized in a school curriculum. Let me be very clear there. I do not think an elementary school or a middle school, and probably most of high school, I do not think it is the school's place to depict sexuality of any kind. Right. If it's not in a health class and you're not learning about the literal anatomy of humans, then it's not anybody else's place. But his delivery and the way he did it was about as heinous as it gets, and I can't help but hope that it costs him the election next time he runs. That's how bad I felt. And then his press conference the next day, or yesterday, was horrendous.
Really?
Horrendous. He baited and switched his crowd. We're here to talk about what I said back in June and why I said it. But let me really talk about this group of ugly people who said horrific things to me. Like, that's not what they were there for. That's not what the reporters were there for. That's not what anybody was there for. But he chose to completely disregard the questions of what schools in North Carolina has this been in. He actually had to go back and change his own words and say that it was being presented and not taught, because he couldn't come up with a school where it was being taught. So, yeah, I think it was a horrendous press conference.
I love that he called out Governor Cooper.
He always calls out Governor Cooper.
I know, and I love it.
But I don't have a lot of respect for him at this point based on those two instances. But to be fair, didn't know enough about him to really have an opinion the first time around. Go ahead.
He's a bad man. I ain't gonna lie.
It doesn't bother me. You love him.
I love him.
It's like the Trump conversation all over again.
What if we see him?
Well, I will let you go fangirl, and I will take all the pictures.
Yes. I'll be like, do you remember me? I was in Greenville. You signed my sign. He's been like, no.
But I will gladly take all the pictures.
Yes.
That's friendship, guys. That's friendship.
That's maturity and personal growth.
Okay, on that note,
thank you very much for joining us. And thank you to our beautiful sponsors. Take it away, Kristy.
Thank you, BJ. You never fail to be there and you never fail to help, and you are just an amazing human, and we are grateful for what you allow us to do in your studio. Mm-hmm. Confused sometimes, but definitely grateful. Mm-hmm. And Brandon Potter, thank you for everything that you do. Mm-hmm. And of course, we must always take just a minute
Danny.
To talk about Danny,
Danielson.
who is amazing. And like completely oblivious to the awesome superhero that he is.
He puts up with a lot.
Yes.
From us.
Yes.
Let me be clear.
And everybody else too.
Mostly us.
Mostly us.
Mostly me.
So,
Not so much Kristy.
next week we do not have a guest.
If you want to be our guest,
we will absolutely have you. If you are running in this election and would like a spot on the show, please come on down. We'll be here at Wednesday at 6 o'clock.
Yeah.
You don't have to sign up. Just come on down and see us.
Danny, you can put a teacup in my hand from the Beauty and the Beast. Be our guest. Be our guest. Put our magic to the test. Put a little teacup right here. Chip.
So, there's this guy on Facebook. Well, he's probably on all the social media platforms. You ask him to Photoshop something, and he takes it super literal. So, like, he'd put a teacup in your hand, but then when you say chip, like, he would take the chip out of you. Like, it was hilarious.
Well, I won't chip the teacup.
But that's just what made me think of it. Okay, so as we get closer to election, we want everybody to register to vote.
Mm-hmm.
Early voting starts tomorrow, right?
Do your civic duty.
It is important that you vote. The reality of it is,
very important.
This is a municipal election, but it decides where you live.
Mm-hmm.
And if you want to vote for Mayor Don Hardy, vote for Mayor Don Hardy. If you want to vote for Felicia Solomon, vote for Felicia Solomon. If you want to vote for Zach Holcomb, vote for Zach Holcomb. If you want to vote for Jeffrey Warren, vote for Jeffrey Warren. But vote.
You have what you tolerate. Remember that.
You have what you tolerate. Early voting, if it doesn't start tomorrow, it starts in the next couple of days. So I hope that you will take advantage of it. If not, please go vote on November 2nd. It is important. Historically speaking, a very small percentage of people. There's something like 13,500 registered voters in Kinston.
Mm-hmm.
Less than 3,000 will vote in a municipal election.
Mm-hmm.
So there's 10,000 people
that
don't vote. So if you have a neighbor or a friend or someone you just doesn't typically vote,
offer them a ride. Say, do you want to go vote with me?
Ask them if they're registered.
That too. I have 2 guests for us next week if we don't have anybody.
Oh, who?
The cats.
Oh, gosh. They're so cute.
They are. Okay.
All right. Bye, everybody.
Bye.